What's up? Welcome to the Pretty Decent Podcast, the podcast that barely meets expectations. My name is Javier, and I'll be your host. So relax, grab some snacks, and enjoy. All right, now let's get to the episode. Ooh, can you hear that? Ooh, some ASMR for you. Okay. Welcome back, guys. What's up? Episode 52. Let's get it going. What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode. Sorry. Welcome back to Pretty Decent. This is episode 52, and I'm your host, Javier. You heard it in the intro. I hope you've heard it more than once now. And if it's your first time, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for, giving me the chance to spend time with you. Perhaps you're at home and you're folding your laundry and you're like, YouTube recommended me this podcast. Let me see what it's all about. So yeah, welcome. So by the title of this episode, we're gonna be talking about The Bachelor, man. And if you've been listening to the show since like the very, very beginning, you might remember episode 2, where I talked about Love Island and relationships. I think it was called reality TV shows and what was it? Reality TV shows and love life or something like that. I don't know. It was something along those lines. I remember I talked about Love Island because I was just starting it for the first time, and it was my first, like reality show like I was watching and getting invested in. And yeah, it was a pretty good show. I don't think I finished that season because like school started and I just like got very overwhelmed. So kind of like stopped halfway through, but it was a good show. I won't lie. That season was pretty good. But we're going to be talking about The Bachelor in a few minutes. But let me get the YouTube stuff out of the way. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if let's see, what could you guys comment? I don't know, just comment whatever. I don't care. I'll read them. But also hit the bell button once you hit subscribe so that you get a notification for every episode, and that way you won't miss a single one. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can also watch it on Spotify. If you're watching and listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. Leave a review. Hey, if you like the show, leave a review. If you don't like it, also leave a review. Your feedback helps me figure out kind of like how to approach the episodes, what to talk about, what not to talk about. It's, I gotta cater to my audience. So yeah, but I suck at like starting the episodes and like having like a segue, because I don't know why, like it's different. Like I like, obviously, like as a podcaster, I do consume other podcasts, so I like most of them have someone else or a producer behind the camera like asking or talking to them and all stuff like that. So like they typically start like, oh, so like how was your week, like how was your weekend, XYZ. So I'm just gonna start like that, you know. So in case you were wondering how my week was, it was great actually. I started training again for my next marathon, which, if everything goes according to plan, it'll be in Nashville in April. And I was able to run 5 days a week, which was 5 days this week, which is pretty good. That's, like the max amount I would run when I'm training. Today I did a 10-mile run, which was pretty good considering I was feeling some discomfort on my foot and on my ankle, but kind of like taped it up and hit the road. But lately it has been snowing here, so it's kind of like fighting. It's trying to beat the clock before it gets too cold. And today my plan was to do my 10-mile run early in the morning so that I can take advantage of the entire day. But it started snowing at like 8 in the morning, and then so I was like, okay, like I'll stay in bed for a little bit longer, and then I'll wake up and then make breakfast, and then if the snow melts, I'll hit the road, like go out and run, because like I have the motivation to train, because after the feeling from the first marathon, like I want to replicate that and like even perform even better, because I know I'm capable of performing a lot better than I did. And I've just been, I feel like I have the motivation, so I feel like I should use that to my advantage. And yeah, so luckily at around midnight, it's almost midnight, but at around noon, like the snow on the roads melted. So I figured, okay, let's go out and go run. And it was a pretty solid run. I'll say that it did take some time to warm up. I think it took me like 40 minutes to feel like I was fully warmed up, and I finished pretty strong. I know like it's a good long run if afterwards I feel like I can still go about my day. And I had a pretty productive day afterwards. I think I came back home at around 2:30 or almost 3. And afterwards, I took a shower, cleaned up and everything, stretched. And then I was just, cleaning my house and ate some, I think it was a protein bar. And then, gosh damn it. I just got notifications for text messages that I was waiting. Let's get back to it. Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, I pretty much, kind of like did my normal routine, and I was like, hey, I still have time, like I'll record later in the day, and I think I'm gonna go out to eat and all that stuff. So I ended up, cleaning my house, because my house was filthy. I hadn't been able to actually like, do a proper cleanup. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and clean it. And tomorrow is clean the bathroom tomorrow. That's a hard task, but because I wanted to clean my bathroom today, but something happened underneath the sink in my kitchen, and it flooded. So a lot of the things that I had down there are just ruined. So I still have to buy some new things. And I went to Walmart today to try and find a very specific set of towels that I use when I clean just like counters and like the bathroom and everything, but I can't find it. It's so frustrating. I've been to Walmart 3 times this week trying to find them, and I can't find it. And every time I go to Walmart, I come out with the one thing I didn't have the intention of buying. Like today, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Walmart. I need some soy sauce for tomorrow because I need to cook my lunch. I need some moisturizer for my face. I need some body wash. I need some deodorant. I had a list of like, okay, we're going to Walmart after dinner to buy all of these things. And then I'm like, I don't need a cart. I don't need anything. With my two hands, I can carry everything that I need. So I go about and I even park like in the area that I'm going to be there for sure. And so I walk in and I'm like, okay, I grab the moisturizer, I grab the body wash, I keep walking, and then I'm like, I start going into like the aisles with like all of the house stuff, and I start looking and I'm like, I kind of want to like buy furniture for the house. But then I always have this debate because with my circumstance, for sure, I don't know what's going to happen once like my year is up, because that's like how the international student permit is. You have 1 year, and then you apply for the extension because I'm a STEM major and all that stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen in July. So I figured I don't want to buy too much furniture, because then it's going to, if I end up moving out of here, it's going to be more work, and then I don't want to add more to my plate, because I'm a very simple person, and the less I have, the better it is for me, because it's less stress on me whenever I move out. And I learned that the hard way in college, because I didn't realize I had a lot of things that I had accumulated over 4 years until I moved out of my dorm after graduation. So trying to avoid that again, because obviously, like this time, if I move, I'll probably be doing it by myself. So I've just been like, for example, like I've been thinking of getting a couch, and I'm like, maybe I should buy like a futon, like maybe I'd be more comfortable. It's more convenient. It'll fill up my living room more. But I'm like, I don't really have people over. Is it really worth it? And like when I move out, it's just gonna be more things to worry about and like move, and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I'm single. Like I don't need a 2-person couch. Like just like I have my recliner over there. I have a good old like old person chair. Like I like my living room because it just says he's single and he doesn't have anyone over ever. Because my priorities are straight running and the podcast, and that's it. And I was just like, I don't know. I have been thinking a lot about relationships lately, but we'll get to that in a bit. But anyway, I was at Walmart, and then I ended up getting this cool rack. It is just pretty much, you just leave it by your door, and then like you can set your shoes there, especially like right now that it's snowing a lot. I don't like that it leaves puddles when I take off my shoes and leave them at my door. So I figured like, oh, that's kind of convenient, like, and then like I just cleaned that and like all that stuff, and like even for my running shoes and all that stuff. And I also ended up buying a CD because I've been wanting to buy vinyls, but the thing is, like, I feel like everyone like has vinyls, and I don't have a record player. Whereas if I buy the CDs, one, they're smaller, they're less fragile, and I think it's kind of cooler to have a CD player. I don't think anyone has a CD player, so I'm planning on getting one. And I have so far 2 CDs in my CD collection. It's Faith in the Future and Bad Bunny's Un Verano Sin Ti. So got a good collection so far, and I'm trying to like grow my collection, and then like it's like at one point I would just look like I was holding 5 things on my left hand, and it's like in between my fingers and like my palm, and it was just like it looked like this pretty much. And then like I was just frustrated because I'm like, I knew I should have grabbed the cart, because every time I come to Walmart, I never like it's never just like, oh, I know I'm coming here and that's the only thing I'll get. Like I was expecting to spend like $25. I ended up spending like $60. because I just kept buying stuff. But I convinced myself that I needed the things, and pretty much like I needed all the stuff that I bought, because like it's like some stuff for the house like I don't really anticipate to buy. I'm just like, I think this would be pretty convenient to have, so I just like grab it. But I feel like that's just pretty common when it comes, like when you go to Target, when you go to Walmart and all that stuff. It's just frustrating because like I wish that I had a partner that would just tell me like, oh, we don't need that, why are you buying that? But at the same time, I'm glad I don't have a partner that would tell me that, because like most of my purchases, like who's gonna stop me? Like I want to buy a Lego set, I'll buy it, who cares? But I have been thinking a lot about, for some reason, having kids, right? Like a lot of the content and just media that I've been consuming lately is very child it has a lot to do with kids and like parenthood and all that stuff, and some of it is on purpose and some of it is on accident. Like I've been watching How I Met Your Mother, and obviously like Marshall and Lily at one point have a kid, and like they're married and all that stuff. So I've been thinking a lot about like marriage and like relationships and all that stuff. And also there's this show on Hulu. Well, it's not a Hulu original, but it's, I don't know, is it ABC? I don't know what it is, but it's called The Parent Test. And it's pretty much like this show where a psychologist and obviously like the host of the show, they're pretty much figuring out what's like the best parent, what is it? Like style of raising a kid. Like you have the helicopter parents or like the free range or blah, 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 blah. So it's pretty interesting because, you don't really think about the way you were raised until like, I didn't think about like, I never wondered what like, oh, I wonder like what style like my parents had. To this day, I still don't know. But it was just it's pretty interesting to see like how different couples approach parenthood, but they all still have the same goal in mind, and that's just to protect the kid, raise the kid to have a successful life and have morals and values and everything, and just like enjoy the time with the kid. And some of them is like insane. Like there are some that are like high achievement, and like they push the kid to do all of these things, and like it's crazy. Like if you actually like, I really recommend the show just because like it's pretty interesting, and it's like an insightful look into just basically parenthood in America, and like how many different types of parenting styles there are. And it's I guess it's just like what it's normal with adulthood, like this constant thinking of like, maybe like I should be trying to get in a relationship or like seeking a relationship, but because like that's how I feel. Some days I'm like, I kind of wish I was with someone, or like at least like have someone that I can talk to or like hang out with, spend time with. And then some days I'm like, I'm glad I'm single and like I can just do whatever I want to do. Like just like I'm feeling like going out to this restaurant. Like I feel like that's the beauty of being single. I can go to whatever restaurant I want without being like having to ask my partner and be like, oh, like what do you want to eat today? And they're like, I don't know. Like today I went to a diner because, sorry, I feel like I have to sneeze. Sorry. Today I went to a diner because I figured, I'm like, well, I know for sure I'll be here for the next 6 months, and I want to try some new restaurants around the area. And I feel like every time I go to a diner, I feel like the food just always hits a very special spot. And I don't know if it's because like when you go to a diner, you're not expecting like, fancy food and you know, like you're what you're going into when you go to a local diner, especially if it's like family owned. You know, like you know that like it's just the environment is very calming and soothing, at least for me. So, and where I live, a lot of the people that live here are old people that, you know, they're either retired or it's people that are well established in their adulthood. So it's pretty, I feel like a fish out of water more than I already am, because it's a restaurant and like everyone there is like old. And it's just interesting because sometimes I feel like I want to go approach them and like talk to them and ask them like, hey, like, you know, just like have a conversation. I feel like sometimes that's good, especially like as a young adult trying to, trying to find my way around this crazy world and adapting to new things and all that stuff. But, you know, going back to like just being able to go to whatever restaurant, like most of the time after I do my long runs, I'm very hungry. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't really want to cook. So I'm just going to, go to a restaurant and just enjoy myself. So I treated myself to a cheeseburger because I've been craving, like family diner style cheeseburgers for some reason. And because, like I'm not expecting like Wagyu beef or anything like that, or like Angus beef or anything. For all I know, like they could have gotten the meat from the curb. It could be a raccoon that they ran over. I doubt it is, but because it was very tasty. But even the fries, like like they could just be frozen fries from Walmart, and then they just put them in the fryer and then they serve them. Like, I don't care, but they still hit different because it's just like the environment of the family diner is just, I don't know why I felt like I just really needed that. So I think I'll make that kind of like a tradition, at least. Well, I'm thinking right now because I'm like, I think I'm going to visit my friends next weekend. But, like just instead of like buying fast food and all that stuff, like might as well support local businesses. And yeah, it was pretty nice, to just like, sometimes I do like being at a restaurant and like just being by myself because I don't use my phone. I'm just like sitting there and I just get to enjoy some time with myself. Sometimes I take a book. Today I didn't because I haven't checked any books out. Because I want to get more into reading this year, but I feel like I just have no time to, just sit and read. Because pretty much like after work, well, like my schedule typically is like I wake up at 5 a.m. and then like I'm at work from like 7 to 3:30, and then I get home. And then I pretty much just like change, stretch, go out running, come back, train, like do some like workout at home, and then shower, cook dinner, and then go to bed. And then that's it. Like I have no time whatsoever to just, like watch TV or read a book or anything like that. So I feel like I kind of wish we could go back. Well, I never experienced the 410s, but I was reading an article that was saying like a few companies like tested out the 410 method. And if you don't know what a 410 is, pretty much it's just like you're working 4 days a week for 10 hours a day, and then you get 3-day weekends. And they noticed like an increase in productivity and overall morale and like the company and all that stuff. And I just hope that more companies transition into that, because I feel like just a 2-day weekend is not enough to do everything. Because like you're telling me that in 2 days, I should technically 1 day, because most businesses aren't open on Sundays, so I only have 1 day to run errands and like go to the bank and like if I want to check something with my car or all that stuff. And most of the time I'm not able to do it on Saturdays, so like I have to ask for like a half day or a day off during the week just to like run errands and pretty much like catch up on all of the stuff that I've been delaying because like I just don't have time. And if I didn't have like the podcast or running as a hobby, I don't know, like I feel like I can't add more hobbies into my life right now, because I feel like even with podcasting, like I only do that on the weekends, but I feel like I'm working the entire, like every day, because like, I'm thinking of like, oh, what can I talk about on this episode, or like, oh, like I saw this, maybe like that would be interesting. So like my brain is like firing at all times, and sometimes I'm like thinking, I was like, oh, like maybe like I can change the format, or like, oh, what if I have this person over and this and that, and it's just like I'm thinking 24/7 about like content and what I want to make, and it's just pretty, like I just hope, I just hope that it, like going to those 410s, that would be so nice. Just like knowing that I have a whole day just to rest and then 2 days to do everything, like it'd be perfect. But speaking of work, I feel like I had this thought on Friday when I was leaving work. I was talking to one of my coworkers where we were leaving the office, and I was telling him, I was like, what's funny? Like, as an adult, you're doing, at least I feel I'm doing stuff that I used to do when I was in elementary and in high school, where pretty much like, I'd wake up at 5, and because it all started with lunch boxes, because I was like, what's funny? Like, I never thought that as an adult I'd be carrying around a lunchbox anymore and a backpack. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like, you'd never think of an adult doing that. Like, when you picture an adult, you picture like a grown man, or, a grown person. And it's just because, like, for some reason, like, I feel like I'm not the only one that has associated lunch boxes with kids. Because that's just, when you're going to school, that's where you take your food, and like backpacks with books. Well, back in the day when they used books and not online books, but you know what I'm trying to say. So we were just talking, and like kind of like I was just saying, like I feel like college was just like this gray area between like this whole routine, because like in college routines are so different. I feel like I never had like an established routine for every day, because like classes varied from day to day, and then weekends were just like all over the place, and being in rest life was also kind of like all over the place. So like nowadays I feel like my routine is very, very similar to how it was when I was in elementary, because pretty much like elementary, anything with school, because pretty much when I was back in school in Honduras, I would wake up at 5 in the morning to catch the bus, and then start school at like 7:25, and then I'd be in school until like 3, and then like at like basketball practice, and then go back home, and then do homework, and then go to bed, or try to go to bed by midnight. And now I feel like it's exactly the same, because after work I train, and then it's dinner, trying to do maybe it's like some work, like journal or read or whatever, and then go to bed. But most of the time I don't end up falling asleep until like 11, because like I just can't. I think I'm gonna transition to running in the morning once it's not as cold as it is, because like my brain is firing in all cylinders at night, and I feel like it's because I'm running in the afternoon. And I called it the lunchbox paradox, because it was just interesting. Like, you don't really think about routines that much until like, I guess like, at least for me, I didn't really think of like the different stages that I've gone through in my life, from like, being very dependent on my parents when I was in elementary, middle school, high school, all that stuff. And then going into college, where I was like partly independent, but still depending on my parents for some things. And now just an adult, pretty much all on my own, figuring stuff on my own, because I feel like I can't really talk to my parents about a lot of the things that I have to deal with here, because they've never lived here, and I'm learning as I'm going. That's the thing. Like, I feel like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I don't know if what I'm doing is right or not. As long as I'm not doing anything illegal, everything's fair game. So it's just a lot of, this is pretty much just like the stuff that I think on a daily basis. Like lately I've been having to clean my car every day, every morning before I go to work, because like it has snow and ice, and I'm just like annoyed at it. I'm like, God, I hate the Midwest. Like, I just want to get out of here. I can't handle the snow anymore. I just want warm weather. I just want spring to start. You know, like, why am I an adult that I didn't sign up for this? And it's just me complaining about being an adult, and then like halfway through my day at work, I'm just saying a dumb thought, and then like I just forget about the whole adulthood and like all of the things that are going wrong, and I'm just like having fun. So I've been having good days at work, which is nice, you know. I feel like I'm starting to enjoy my career as an engineer, and yeah, it's just because I feel like I'm still like struggling to say like, oh, I'm passionate about engineering and all that stuff, because I don't really know if I am, you know, because there's a lot of things that I want to do, and I feel like if engineering is the only thing I did, it would be just sad, and just, yeah, like I feel like I want to do more with my life than just engineering. But yeah, that was my week. But yeah, I don't know why, but just relationships is just, whether I like it or not. I think it's also because Valentine's is right around the corner, and this is like, I feel like the first year that I probably won't ask anyone for Valentine's. Pretty much at work, hey, we're gonna have our Valentine's date in the podcast. I'm actually planning something pretty funny for that. Hopefully it comes to fruition. But yeah, I don't think it's like, part of me is like, feels like it's not worth it right now to be in a relationship, but part of me is like, I kind of want to have like a relationship. So it's just, it's a constant like roller coaster with just like thoughts and all that stuff. But I feel like with like the whole relationship stuff lately, I have been needing to clean my phone from like pictures and stuff, because apparently like just the whole storage stuff, I feel like it's just a daily struggle with everyone and phones and social media, and just having technologies cleaning phones from pictures that are just worthless now. And I feel like I have a stronger attachment to my memes than actual pictures with people, because I've been trying to clean like my Google Photos and all that stuff, and every time like I come across a meme, I'm like, but I don't want to delete this meme because it always makes me laugh, and I might need it at some point, like send it to a friend or something like that. And or sometimes I'm just like, but when like the internet, like I'm in the bathroom at work, because most of the time like at work I have terrible cell reception or internet or whatever you want to call it, and I luckily have my stash of memes that I can look at when I'm taking a dookie in the stall, and I'm just like sitting like this, and I'm like laughing, and then like my feet go up like, you know, because I like memes. But but whenever I come across pictures of like either just from like things from high school or something like that, like I end up deleting them without any remorse. It's just like, hold it, trash can. Or I'm like, I'm not gonna use that picture. Like, I look awful in that picture. I don't want it. I don't know. Like, I don't even talk to that person anymore. What's the point of having the picture? And yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's interesting because I don't know, like, if I'm the only person that's like that. Because like, how do I explain it? Obviously, like, if it's someone that you no longer talk to, it won't be hard to delete the pictures. But even like some of them are like with people that I still talk to is just like, I'm not gonna use the picture, and like I still see them pretty often. So what's the point of having 100+ pictures of this one day? That's just, now it's just like a day that wasn't even that big of a deal. And this was mostly in school and my senior year. And now I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I need these pictures, because they're just pointless. So I just like hold like my finger and I'm just like scrolling all the way down. It's like, yep, delete. But like, okay, I'll share some of my favorite memes that I have in my folder, because they're very funny. And don't worry, I'm gonna put them on the screen so that you can read along with me. This is the meme corner. Read along. Some of them are in Spanish, so for my English viewers that don't know Spanish, too bad. Learn some Spanish, because bro, memes in Spanish are 10 times better than memes in English, and hate me for that. But anyway, let's see. One of my favorite ones, it's just, they're so stupid, because there's this one. Where is it? There is, and they always make me laugh. Like, I'd be taking dookies at work, and I'm just like, it just makes me laugh, because like I can't go on Instagram, and I'm just like start scrolling through my memes, and like I most of the time, like there's no one in the stalls. Like I know like the perfect times to just go, and like I can be there, but sometimes like there's other people there, so I'm like trying my hardest to control my laughter, because I'm telling you, like these memes always crack me up. Always, every time, without failure. I'm always like, and then like my feet just go like, like this is the stall, and like you can see my feet, 'cause, like I'm sitting, and I'm just like, so I don't know. It's pretty stupid, but this one, for example, says, for my audio listeners, there's a picture of a dad carrying a tree, and his daughter is next to him, and it says, "Nice tree." The daughter says, "Nice tree, Dad. Are you going to put it up yourself?" And then the dad replies, "No, I will put it up in the living room." Come on, that's pretty funny. Or there's this one in Spanish. It's a doctor and the baby. And the doctor asks the baby, "Fumas marijuana?" And then the baby just says, "Aga, aga, aga," like a baby. And then the doctor says, la verga, este niño viene bien drogado. No puede ni hablar. Or there's this one in Spanish, and it says, in asterisks, it says, "Se escuchan explosiones. Mi mamá, han de ser los cohetes, ya se siente septiembre. Un güey en la esquina." And it's just like a cartoon, like just like someone dead. But one of my all-time favorites has to be this one. This is, I'm telling you, Spanish memes are just the best. This is from Harry Potter. I don't know what Harry Potter movie this is, but they were like from like the very first ones, because Hermione's hair is like curly and all over the place, and it says, it's in Spanish, and Hermione says, "He leído sobre eso. Cuando el humo se vuelve rojo, significa que olvidaste algo." And then Neville says, "El único problema es que no recuerdo quién chingados te preguntó, Hermione." Come on. Like, it's so stupid, but it never fails to crack me up. But you know what? They've all been in Spanish. So I'm gonna share. The last one will be in English. Let's see. Let me find a good one. Where is it? I'm telling you, I have like I've gotten rid of like half of my memes, and right now I have 250 on my phone. Where is it? It's something about, what does BC mean? Where is it? this is the episode that you're just gonna see me scroll through my phone while I look at stuff. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the Bachelor stuff. I'm just really wanna. Where is it? Gosh darn it. No. Okay, if I don't find it in the next 30 seconds, I will find another one. How has your day been? Normally, if I had someone else in the podcast right now, they'd be talking. But God damn it, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. It's two Roman soldiers, and it says, what year is it? 50 BC. What does BC stand for? Before Christ. Who is Christ? No fucking clue, mate. Like, how are you gonna tell me that isn't funny? Like, I don't know. I feel like, Jesus, all of the memes I have saved on my phone are just so stupid, but I don't know. It's so dumb, but I love it. You know, like, I honestly, I can't deny it. I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider, but it's just so stupid. But yeah, I like, how am I gonna delete that? You know, like, pictures with other people except my family won't cheer me up. Like, you know, it's just gonna make me feel nostalgic and sad and be like, oh, thank God this person's no longer in my life. So I'm just like, what, you know? But oh Jesus, we're hitting the 40-minute mark. What? Okay. All right. Let's get to The Bachelor. I don't know the intro song to The Bachelor, but let me pull up in an after party. I don't know why I have so much energy, because it's freaking 12:30 in the morning. Comment at what time you're listening to the episode, because I'm actually interested in that. But anyway, okay. So, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, I kind of, it wasn't until like 2021 that I started getting interested into reality TV shows, and I had never watched The Bachelor. Obviously, I've only heard about it, because like, who hasn't heard about The Bachelor? So I was thinking earlier this week, I was like, you know what? Maybe like I should, for the podcast, you know, I kept telling myself, this is for the podcast. That's because I just want the constant drama and tea of like, oh my God, she said that? Or like, oh, no way, they did that? But, yeah, so, you know, I figured, you know what? Like, let's dig into The Bachelor. I feel like, you know, if you're also watching The Bachelor, I feel like it'd be a good way, you know, to resonate with the audience or whatever. So I figured, you know what, let's do it. So all I'm gonna say is, like, when I started watching it, the guy, let me see if I can find a picture of him. His name is Zach Shawcross. And he just has a interesting face. Like, he's not ugly. And, you know, like, as an ugly guy myself, I feel like I can judge him, because, you know, ugly people are allowed to judge good looking people, but good looking people are not allowed to judge ugly people. But he just looks like he has a fart stuck, and he's like, I'm not trying to fart right now. I like, here's a picture of him, but look at him. Like, this picture is just like, I don't know, like, I feel like he has something up his butt. Maybe he's just holding a fart and he's like, I'm in The Bachelor now. But he I don't even know I just know he lives in Austin. But I'm trying to think of like what career he has. I don't know if they mentioned what his career was, but basically they said that he had been in the Bachelor. No, he was in the Bachelorette. And so when they interview him, like at the beginning, like, you know, you get to meet him and everything, he's basically saying like, oh yeah, like all I'm looking for in a relationship is communication and to be honest from the very beginning, because like I feel like that was the main thing that was lacking in the Bachelorette. Because like she like I asked her what she wanted, but she was never made her mind on what she wanted and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, that he's right, you know, like the best thing like you can be is straightforward and honest, you know, like you don't want to waste someone else's time and you don't want to waste your time. So but I just couldn't get over it because of his face, because he has a very particular face. And okay, he's very handsome. From an ugly person, I'll say like, Zach, you're very handsome, because you have achievable body goals, because like you're not like insanely ripped like the guys from Love Island, where it's just pretty much like this is their body and like you can see like the abs poking out because like they're just so defined. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know, like I just kept laughing every time he said a word. But and then they also showed how he had met already some of the girls, women, damn it, he had met some of the women already, because like something, I think it's called After the Final Rose or something like that, where pretty much they introduced him and like they show some B-roll of like the women that are gonna be in The Bachelor and the new season, like celebrating because like, oh, it's Zach. And so it's very awkward because like in some of them there's just like this one guy in the living room and he's like clearly like his girlfriend dragged him there, and you just like see him like, and all the girls are like, ah! And he's just like this holding a glass of wine. I don't know, I found it very funny. And then yeah, like I guess in this show I was like, I've after the first episode I'll say like I'm rooting more for the girls, women. I'm rooting more for the women than Zach, because there's something about Zach that it just doesn't rub me off the right way. But pause. But then they start like introducing some of the women, and immediately I was like, these are very attractive women, you know? And it like gathered my attention that only one of them, okay, in the entire show, only 3-4 people have like their first and last name. And it was obviously the host, Jesse, I don't know what, Zach, another former Bachelor that also like showed up at the beginning, and this girl called Christina Mandrell. And that was like, it's kind of sus, because to me it made me feel like, hey, this is like, makes me feel like it's rigged, because she must have something here where if they're using her last name as well, it's for a reason more than just like the show. Well, it is probably for the show, but like there's a reason behind it. And then she starts explaining that she's a social media influencer and all that stuff. And I'm like, you sons of bitches, you mother. And then my creator brain hit, and I was like, they're geniuses, but also mother, because just what I figured out, it was like, she also mentions that she's the daughter of like a famous singer or something like that. But pretty much I figured, I'm like, oh, they're just gonna use her to drive traffic to The Bachelor, because like, let's be honest, like live TV is dying. Like YouTube is taking over all of like content and like shows and everything, and streaming platforms and all that stuff, right? So in my head, it's pretty much to just like drive traffic to the show, which I won't blame them. It's a pretty smart move. And when I saw her, I'm like, I can tell she's kind of annoying. Like, just from like, she looks kind of annoying. And I feel like, but I kept feeling like she has some sort of advantage over all of the other girls. Because, like, knowing that she has such a predominant, like, such a big presence on social media. Because I had seen her before. Just she had showed up on, I believe, like, either my explore page or like something on Instagram, and because like her face seemed like she seems very familiar. So I was like, 100% Zach has already seen her at some point, because like if you're a social media influencer like that big, you rack millions, maybe not millions but hundreds of thousands of dollars. So like I feel like that's gonna have an influence if he were to pick her at some point in the show for her to stay. Or also like the production team might just be like, hey, you might want her, we need her to keep moving on just to drive traffic to the show. Because personally, I wouldn't have picked her. I wouldn't have given her a rose. I just don't, the whole thing, like the whole social media thing rubbed me off the wrong way. And it was weird. It was just weird because, like, okay, spoilers from now on until probably like the end of the episode for spoilers for The Bachelor. If I end up, like, there's probably gonna be like a little something on the screen when spoilers end, but pretty much like the whole limo thing when she walks in. She drove in a party bus, and I'm like, The Bachelor 100% did not pay for that. You paid that off your pocket. And I'm like, you're already at an advantage because you have already a lot of money. And like a lot of the women here are like, one of them is a therapist, a lot of them are nurses, and I'm like, there's something about nurses, man. I don't know why, but nurses. And it's pretty funny because just nurses, I'm just going to say it, nurses, man, they can make or break your life, literally. But a lot of the women here are beautiful, and I'm like, God. And I feel like that's like the difference between that I saw like firsthand in The Bachelor and in Love Island, comparing them. Obviously, like they're not that, like the format is completely different, but in the end is to find love. But I feel like in Love Island, it was more of like they're hot first and then they have a career. Here's like they have a career and then they're also hot, because like if I'm being honest, a lot of the people in Love Island are very dumb. And it's like, yeah, you have the looks but not the brains. Here you can, just by the careers they have, marketing executive from New York City, healthcare strategist, executive recruiter, nursing student, entrepreneur in America's first impression. Oh yeah, whatever. One of the women that I'm rooting for, she's a rodeo racer from Oklahoma. Okay, I'm gonna give my list of who I want to move forward, because obviously I was surprised that he's solo queuing against 30 women. I'm like, I'd be intimidated. Are you kidding? Like, I can barely talk to one woman and without feeling scared for my life. Talking to 30 very beautiful women, I'd be peeing myself. I'd be shitting, peeing, and puking at the same time. Shitting, farting, peeing at the same time. Just because I'd be crazy. But the thing is, like, I want to be at one point in probably like 5 years from today, I'll be in The Bachelor. I did my research. I will share what I have to do in order to get into The Bachelor. But hey, we're gonna get there. We're gonna be marathoner, engineer, podcaster, and Bachelor contestant. Also, there's this one woman called Madison, and she just made me cringe and get so upset in the episode so much that I'm glad she didn't move on. Because, okay, so pretty much like, if you've never watched The Bachelor, basically it's one guy and then he's gonna trying to meet his future wife, right? And basically it's like 30 women fighting for him, but he also has to, like, you know, get to know them and everything, right? And like the first night they all arrive and then he meets them, like, you know, like first, you know, like, hey, hello, blah blah blah, and then like they all go into the mansion and then he gets to decide who he wants to get to know more, and then like hopefully he knows enough about them that he wants to give them a rose. I didn't know they were gonna shed so many out of the show from the very first episode. I think he gives out 18 roses, and I think it's 18 roses, and then 2 of them were like he gives for like the first impressions, which I'm glad that Greer wanted because I'm rooting for her, and the first, like, America's rose or whatever. So in total I think it's 20 that move on. But pretty much like all of these women are like competing to win him over, right? And you know, like some of them were like, oh, like what is he doing with this one? Or oh, like did they kiss and stuff? And my guy was kissing left, right, and center. He's like touching their leg and like, you're just so funny. And then the one that I love the most, one of the ones that I love the most, hit her interaction with Zach. Her name is Kat. My girl was shoving meatballs into her mouth, competing who can shove the most meatballs in each other's mouth. And like her nails were all nasty, like you can tell like she had done them, you know, for the show and everything, and they were just like covered in sauce, and like she gave 0 fucks about that shit. She went all in the meatballs. She was like, and it was just pretty funny. Like I can tell, like, you know, for her it was like, hey, this is how I am. I'm a funny woman, you know, like I like to have fun and everything. So she looked very authentic, and you know, I would fall for that part that she's beautiful. I'm looking at like all of the contestants and they're all so beautiful. I'm like, but yeah, this girl Madison, I think I might put a picture of her on the screen. She just, from the very beginning, from the very first interaction, she just gave me the sense that she's going to be very annoying. You know, like, it just looks very annoying. I didn't even know North Dakota was a real place. But, yeah. Oh, Fargo. Oh, that's where the movie Fargo takes. You learn a new thing in this show every episode. But anyway, pretty much like the way her interactions with Zach go down, she so, you know, like they do like the first talk, right, and everything, and then it basically like she was hoping to get a kiss out of it because obviously like everyone has seen him kiss all the other, like a few of the other women on the show already, and she was like hoping, you know, because like she's like, oh, like I'm gonna make him my husband, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, chill, girl. And then at one point Zach is with another girl and she's like, I don't care, I'm gonna go. And I'm like, whoa, what is she doing? Okay, first of all, props to her because she had the balls to go interrupt his conversation with another girl, took him away to hit the gritty with him. She hit the gritty with him. I was cringing. I was laughing. I was angry. I was sad. I was like, what is going on? The gritty. You really hit the gritty on The Bachelor. I never thought that was going to happen. But she was like, both of them were hitting the gritty. And then, like, I don't know if she was expecting to make him fall in love with the gritty, but she goes for a kiss, and then like it was only like a peck, and then like she goes back to the group and she's like, oh yeah, like I only got a peck, and then she's like starts crying, and she's like, I didn't feel anything, like there was no spark or anything. And now in my head I'm like, yeah, because you hit the gritty 15 minutes ago. What are you expecting? You're hitting the gritty. What? Immediately from like the first interaction, you can sense that he was like, yeah, she's not it, like she's not going through. So then like before like he has to give out the roses, she like interrupts the like the conversation that Zach was having with Jesse, and she's just like, hey, I just need you to be honest with me. I need to know, like, if you're gonna give me a rose or not. And then he's like, no. And then she's like, okay. And then she leaves, and then she starts crying, and she's like, I gave so much. I gave everything to be here. And I'm like, before I did my research, I was like, what did you give away? Like, you're your own boss. You probably have money. Like, you know, you probably didn't lose your job because you were here. Like, what did you give away? Like, you're saying like you gave your whole life away for him. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But then like I looked at like the requirements in order to be there, and I'm like, yeah, you have to give a lot. But I'm glad that out of the women that I'm rooting for, only one didn't make it past, and she just has the most beautiful eyes I have ever seen in my life. And this is just me this like next few minutes is gonna be me fangirling over Pretty Women, because they're just beautiful, man. Like, what can I like? All of them are wifey material, like dead ass. Just even from like the interactions, like. And this is what I like so far about the show, and I'm just one episode in and I'm like, I already love this show. It's just, you can tell like they're really just looking for like their future partner, and like they know what they want, and they like, you know, like even like the whole Madison thing, right? Like it's easy to cringe at it, but when you look at it with more insight, you realize that they're not actors. You know, they're just being real human beings, and you know, they're just being themselves. And like, I'm cringy all the time, so like I'm pretty sure like if I were in The Bachelor, I would make an ass out of myself, you know, because I'm like, 30 women want me. Can this be polygamy? Because I can't pick one. Honestly, like I wonder if there has been a situation where in the end he doesn't pick a woman. Fuck. If he doesn't pick a woman at the end. Because like, what if like you just, you know, like didn't vibe with anyone. Also, I hated that Christina said, I just want to vibe it with him. It's just such a millennial. Stop being such a social media influencer on the show. But anyway, let's see. I'm gonna give. Okay, I think for me, the prettiest woman, fuck, Kat, up there. Here's a picture of her. Hopefully, I put it up. I hate Christina. She's so annoying. Davia, oh my god, she's so beautiful, bro. Jesus. Gabby was killing me. I'm so glad she went through. And this is the thing that I don't like about reality TV, especially like when it's, you know, like they're gonna disqualify some people. Like if you know like they have a lot of headshots in that episode, you know like, oh, she's moving forward no matter what. Or maybe does matter, but you know like I feel like producers a lot of the time also care about, you know, like the way they interact in front of the camera, and just like, you know, how they feel and like how they are, like their personality and everything. Like I feel like the producers definitely told Zach like, hey, make sure Christina goes through at least for like the next few episodes, because we need to drive traffic into the show. But Gabby was just funny. She's just so funny. Like I was laughing every time like she had her like the what are they called, the whenever like there's just one-on-one with the producers. Like she was so hilarious. Greer, I'm happy she made it through. My girl Greer. And then Jessica, she was the very first one to come out of the limo, and I was like, she's just so beautiful, and you can tell like she's kind of like shy and like the quirky type, like. So I was like, I would definitely fall for her. And then the other one that really like, whoa, like blew my socks off was Kimberly. I was like, oh, she's so beautiful. Just so many beautiful women. And it's kind of interesting, you know, because like comparing Love Island to The Bachelor, is like Love Island is a lot of like just fucking around and not knowing what you want. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm just here to have the summer of my life. Wait, activate British accent. I'm here to, I don't have a British accent. You know, they're just like, I'm here to have fun and like hopefully meet someone, blah, 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 blah. But here is like, they're all ready to get married, and, you know, like they have their careers and everything, and they're willing to put everything on the line for this person. I'm like, damn. If I were Zach, I'd be like, you find me so attractive and you want to, you know, hope to get married with me, and you're willing to leave everything for a year just to pursue me. I'm like, that would be me. You had me at, I'll leave my career for a year just to get to know you. Girl, I'm marrying you. I don't even care. Whatever. You're the one. But yeah, it's I'm actually excited to just keep watching, because like they showed like stuff that happens like in future episodes, and one of them, like I think it's he goes to propose to one of them, and she says no, and he's like crying, and I'm like, oh my god, who do you think it is? And I'm just like talking to myself like, oh my god, who do you think it is? And every time like in the episode, whenever Zach would kiss one of the girls, women, I would be like, yeah, wow, yeah, let's go. And whenever he was handing out the roses, I was like, yeah, let's go. It was I don't know, like I kind of wish I was watching it with someone else and, you know, sharing the experience, but I'm enjoying it so much because I'm just like cheering, and I'm just like, yeah, like I'm rooting for them, for the women, not much for Zach. I feel like he's kind of like, but the women are just so hilarious. I see, and this is the thing, if you're a guy, or if you're just in a relationship with a funny partner, you're set for life. I'm just gonna say that, because having a funny partner is honestly like the best thing ever, and I've never had that before, so I'm jealous, honestly, if you have a funny partner. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna get emotionally invested in this show, man. Do you think there's gambling with The Bachelor? That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, I'm still looking at like they're just so beautiful. Jesus. But yeah, we'll see. And also, like, you can tell, like, these are smart women. Just like all of them, except Christina. She looks kind of dumb because, like, just social media influencers, man, we're so stupid. We think like we're someone, we're no one. Literally, no one cares what we do. But me getting real about being in social media. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what happens because it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. But okay, let's before I wrap up, I want to, because like I said that I was gonna be in the Bachelor in like 5 years. Here are some eligibility requirements that you have to meet to participate in the Bachelorette. Because I think that would be my route. Like, I'll be in the Bachelorette first, and then like I'll fail. I'll take the SAC route pretty much. So all applicants must be at least 21, and I was surprised that one of them was 23. And I was like, damn, you're young. Because like in Love Island, like it, yeah, some of them are like older in their 30s. But you don't, they're not going there to find the future wife or husband, like, in The Bachelor. Like, you're going there to hopefully, marry this person. So like seeing a 23-year-old there, I was like, Jesus. I'm like, you're just 1 year older than me and you want to get married already. But then I remembered, I'm like, oh, we're living in America, so no one cares about that. They just want to speed run through life. But anyway, all applicants must be at least 21 years of age. At time of application, applicants must be legal residents already. That's why I said 5 years, because hopefully in 5 years I'll be a resident of the U.S. They may not be a candidate for any type of elected political office. Must have a passport valid for 1 year. Yeah, and to travel to Europe and all that stuff, which makes sense. Must be single. It's the only consistent thing I have in my life. Being single. Never have been a convicted felon. Okay. Agreeing to the filming and all that stuff. And then that's when after reading this, it's when I found out like the whole stuff of like you're basically giving away 1 whole year for this show. So like it makes sense, like, for everyone but Madison, because Madison, you're your own boss. Stop crying. Okay, this is satire. Okay, obviously it is sad, but yeah, like all of these women, bro, like they're pretty much putting their whole career on hold for Zach and hoping that he picks them. And gosh, all of the nurses are so beautiful. Jesus. Damn. Nurses, bro, literally can make or break your life. But yeah, I guess I'll give you guys an update on The Bachelor next week, because I'm gonna have so much fun watching this show. I kind of wanted to... Give me a moment. It's business. I was kind of hoping to what's it called? Oh, go to the movies this weekend, but I don't know. Like I kind of want to wait for Ant-Man to go to the movies, but I wanted to watch The Whale, and I wanted to watch Puss in Boots because they said it was really good. So who knows? Maybe I might go tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, it's 1 a.m. You know how we do stuff here. Always recording at very late at night, but here we are. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up right there. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. this episode. I know it went over an hour, but I like it, I like it. But yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and follow the podcast on Instagram. I'll pull up the handles up there. But follow the podcast on Instagram and follow me on Instagram as well. And yeah, thank you guys for everything. It's been an honor. It's always my pleasure to do this. And I love you all, guys. I love you guys so much. And take care. So I'll see you guys next week. I think the title of this episode is going to be The Bachelor is Stupid. I love it. That'll most likely be what I end up going with. If I change it, then oh well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for everything, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care. Peace.